Good evening, third grade. I'm going to begin part 2 of chapter 5 in our story. So now the children are trying to tell Uncle Monty that they think Stefano's Count Olaf. And Uncle Monty's suspicious of Stefano, but not because he thinks he's Count Olaf, because he thinks that Stefano's after his discovery, the incredibly deadly viper. Alright, so let's see if they have any luck. Come on, my dears, Uncle Monty said. We've wasted enough of the morning on talk. We have to... Ow! He interrupted himself with a cry of surprise and pain and fell to the ground. Uncle Monty! Klaus cried. The children saw that a large shiny object was on top of him and realized a moment later what the object was. It was the heavy brass lamp. Ow! That really hurt. My shoulder may be sprained. It's a good thing it didn't land on my head, or it really could have done some damage. But where did it come from? Violet asked. It must have fallen from the window, Uncle Monty said. Whose room is that? Klaus, I believe it's yours. You must be more careful. You can't dangle heavy objects out of the window like that. Look at what almost happened. But the lamp wasn't anywhere near my window, Klaus said. I keep it in the alcove so I can read in that large chair. Really, Klaus, Uncle Monty said, standing up. Do you honestly expect me to believe that the lamp danced over to the window and leaped on my shoulder? Please, put this back in your room in a safe place, and we'll say no more about it. But, Klaus said, his older sister interrupted him. I'll help you, Klaus. We'll find a place where it's safe. Well, don't be too long. We'll see you in the reptile room. Come, Sonny. Walking through the hall, the four parted ways, with Uncle Monty and Sonny going to the enormous door of the reptile room, and Violet and Klaus carrying the heavy brass lamp up to Klaus's room. You know very well, Klaus hissed to his sister, that I was not careless with this lamp. Of course I know that, Violet whispered, but there's no use in trying to explain that to Uncle Monty. He thinks Stefano is a herpetological spy. You know as well as I do that Stefano was responsible for this. How clever of you to figure that out. How clever of you to figure that out, said a voice at the top of the stairs, and Violet and Klaus were so surprised they almost dropped the lamp. It was Stefano, or as you prefer it, it was Count Olaf. Well, the bad guy. But then you've always been clever children. A bit too clever for my taste, but you won't be around for long, so I'm not troubled by it. You're not very clever yourself, Klaus said. This heavy brass lamp almost hit us, but if anything happens to my sisters or me, you'll never get your hands on the fortune. Dear me, Stefano said, his grimy teeth showing as he smiled. If I wanted to harm you, orphan, your blood would already be pouring down these stairs like a waterfall. Ugh. Now, I'm not going to harm a hair on any Baudelaire head. Not here in this house. You needn't be afraid of me, little ones, until we find ourselves in a location where crimes are more difficult to trace. And where would that be? Violet asked. We plan to stay here until we grow up. Really? Said Stefano in a sneaky voice. Why, I had the impression we were leaving the country tomorrow. Uncle Monty tore up your ticket, Klaus replied triumphantly. He was suspicious of you, so he changed his plans, and now you're not going with us. Stefano's smile turned into a scowl, and his teeth seemed to grow bigger as his smile did. His eyes grew so shiny that it hurt them to look at. I wouldn't rely on that, he said. Even the best plans can change if there's an accident. He pointed one spiky finger at the brass reading lamp. And accidents happen all the time. That's it for chapter 5. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow in chapter 6. I hope that you've all had a good day. I hope that you had some fun. I hope that you read. You spent some time with your family. Okay? I'll see you later.